Welcome back, everybody, to Conference 1 Valorant. Good start for Penn State University in Limestone. They're going to have to find their footing as we head over to their map pick of Ascent. Once again, it's myself, Pulsable, joined alongside Josh.
Yeah, I'm excited about this Ascent pick. I'm interested to see how both of these teams attack it. Defense is pretty straightforward. I mean, you have two on B, you put one in mid, you have one that kind of roams around, and then you have one on A. That's the defense that you have. If you have any other defense other than that, not gonna lie, not to be rude, you're doing it wrong. So that's the defense that you need to have on Ascent. But there are so many different ways that you can attack Ascent. And one of my favorite styles of attack and one of my favorite ways to push is the 1-3-1. So you have one over on B site, one over on A site, and three that go mid. You have specifically one that starts closer over on B. You have two on catwalk, smoke that mid right there so that one player can't see you. And then you can decide what you want to do. You can either go towards A site and push from the tree room there, or you can go towards B site and go long B that way. Or you can try to push through mid at some point if those three players want to push through mid. So I love that style of attack. It's going to be interesting to see what Limestone does here. This seems like more of a map that Limestone has been successful on before, but Penn State's been successful on it before too. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams go against each other. You know, it's Penn State last map, they got Limestone on their heels early by being aggressive, by pushing hard, by making the right plays, and Limestone didn't know how to react. So now it's Limestone's to do this, a chance to do the same thing. If they play passively in the beginning, I'm a little bit worried that they don't get the advantage that they need to rolling in the beginning of this map. But if they can roll on Penn State, then maybe they can make this a match and get Penn State on their heels, and Penn State has to make adjustments. Maybe they make the wrong adjustments, and the 1-3-1 attacking style just lets you kind of do whatever you want. It lets you be aggressive, lets you play passively, and lets you adjust where you need to.
Well, and even if you don't go for the 1-3-1 style if you're Limestone, you opt more toward the 5-person stacks that we saw them do on their brief attack on Split. I think this is a map that favors that a lot more, right? It's not nearly as difficult to go for those 5-person pushes towards sites, right? Especially, you know, over toward A, you can get 3 in catwalk, 2 in catwalk, 3 out main, or even just full send it through A main if you really want to, and it's a much more viable strategy. It seems like that's how they're going to be starting off, not the 1-3-1 you were hoping for there.
I want to see it. But I don't mind the split push here on B site. I think this is a good shot too. You know, there's a bunch of different types of split pushes that you can go with. And you can go mid like they're going right here, or you can all go long A and split into there, but instead of focusing so much on the boathouse, you can all wrap around as long as you check your angles. But it looks like they're going to go mid right here and try to take this from the beginning, but Limestone coming out very, very strong in this gun round.
This is a very decisive push from them. You can tell that they knew exactly where they wanted to go. They weren't necessarily prepared for Reddick to get those kind of kills, and now Titanos, he is here. Only 4 health. If you sneeze on this man, he will be dying. Does have an idea that somebody is coming from main. First one's found. Just needs a headshot onto the jet to clutch this round. That drop is going to give away his position. Going to go for the half stick on the bomb before peeling off of it, but just a little bit too late. Blake will come in, 3 in the round, to claim the pistol for Limestone.
I get going for the half stick right there. I feel like it was still so early after the spike drop that he had enough time to maybe bait the defuse right there and back off a little bit without reaching the full half stick. But it just with only 4 health, he put himself in a really bad spot to react way too late. And that's a hard play to make. That's a hard flick to make. He was already in a tough spot being in a 1v2 in the first place. So I would have gone a little bit more the route of bait that, get the kill, then see if you can get the spike.
Limestone gonna be walking toward that A site now, switching it up. Nice sneaky little camera hidden by the vines there from Walla on PSU. And a Marshall ready. Oh, if that smoke goes down, things could get dicey. It's a very awkward smoke there. It did just cover the head, barely, of that breach.
I love seeing the flank by this Sova now. I'd like to see him move a little bit quicker. I know he's trying to be careful so they don't hear him, but if he can flank the right way and they can hold down, he can do some damage here.
Oh, he needs to actually be able to take out what's up my boy, though, and switching over to the classic, even though the Marshall missed, it didn't quite happen there. Nice, decisive push from Limestone. That's what you like to see from them. They're off to a strong start after a rough first map.
I mean, this is exactly what we said we wanted to see from them. Move it, go into Ascent, be aggressive early on, get Penn State on their heels, and get up big the way Penn State got up big on you and split and force that third map. Right now, they're on their road to doing that. Those are two great pushes right there. They're working very well together. They seem way more comfortable on Ascent in attacking than they did on Split, but they were also the confidence was shot in Split after they had so much difficulty attacking defending in the beginning in the first place.
Now they get to bonus round this out, just try and damage the economy of Penn State. Very aggressive lurk up here, I should say. Way abstract, exploding onto Danny Steele, stealing the Phantom away and everything. Penn State, it's their gun round. They need to be taking this one if they want to stabilize on Ascent here. But it's not off to a good start. One is going to get caught there. Way abstract going across, and Wonder ready on the flicks. Rezik 2, this B site take has not been what Limestone were hoping for after a strong push up mid. Now it's all down to Sig the Man to see how much damage they can do to the economy of Penn State.
Some great adjustments by Penn State in this round 3 during the gun round. It really seems like they caught on to what Limestone was trying to do by pushing mid, pushing long B over there, and so that was a good adjustment by them. It really came down to Wonder getting some really great shots. There was that mid play right there by Limestone in the beginning was really aggressive. It seemed to pay off for them at first in the beginning, but I think they gave away too much by getting that early kill, and that's what gave away the position in the mid and allowed Penn State to kind of adjust and rotate the way they needed to.
And now Limestone, they're going to go to a gun round themselves, but ooh, buying up the op, putting it on What's Up My Boy immediately. I was about to say there's a decent amount of money left for Limestone if they lost this, but nope, they are spending it all, investing heavily into this round here, Josh.
This is one of the, like, when you're talking to people who are playing for the first time, when they say, should I do a full buy right now? This is when you usually say, no, don't do that. Maybe do a half buy since not everybody had enough money. But if it works out, if it pays off for them, it's a highly aggressive play. But man, if you lose that op here, their economy is shot for Limestone.
Already a rough start for Limestone too, as they will lose to Danny Steele, who pushed into B main. Danny Steele retreating to mid. I love this jump peek off the fountain here. Just looking to see if anybody is coming. Will get spotted there by What's Up My Boy. So if you go for that one again, you're going to get an operator to the dome more likely. Danny Steele thinks better of it, just retreats and expects now that Limestone are probably pushing up mid. Pretty heavy stack towards that middle of the map, towards that B site, but instead it's into Catwalk. Good work from Titan. He only sees one though and isn't quite ready for Boulder to swing onto him. Now with Way Abstract still here and the camera going down, you have to imagine Limestone are going to be able to plant. Wow, and this is so aggressive though.
Wow, great.
He just jumps onto the site. Used the Cypher cage perfectly, and nobody actually went out onto the site to take control of Heaven. Now they're closed off. The door shuts off Sig the Man and the Spike.
30 seconds left.
He's in a position you can't possibly get to.
That's why having a Cypher is so important. Not only does he can give you all the intel in the world as Walla goes down, and so Cypher is no longer on the board, but having a Cypher on your team and being able to not just be able to get the information that you need, but also being able to just distract the other team with the utility that he has, right? And being able to sit there and throw that on top of it, get on the spot, get the kill, and stop that from being planted. But this is a great round by Penn State. If they can, Limestone gets to keep the op, defenders win. So it's not a full loss for Limestone, but it's still rough having 3 of your guys go down on a full buy like that.
Especially considering the new economy changes, right? So because the spike was not planted, the 2 attacking members who survived only get, I believe it's 1,000 credits or 1,100, one of those 2, in their pockets. So it's difficult. They're not able to just, get the full 1,900, be able to, or actually it'd be 2,400 because of the round loss bonus. Their economy is so much more shot. They are going to be able to still buy into this round. Bladestorm ready on Blake, so still technically a full buy for Limestone, but now their economy is even more tenuous than it was before.
I mean, if you look at What's Up My Boy, he didn't lose the op in the last round, but he's got 700 right now. So if he loses the op here, he's still not going to be able to do much in that round. That's why it's so difficult buying that op this early right now and going full buy the way they did. But it didn't necessarily go poorly for them, but it didn't necessarily pay off for them either. So it's going to be interesting to see what Penn State does here. It looks like the push is a little split.
Lockdown does go into B main. You can counter this with the Hunter's Fury, and that's exactly what Rezik is going to do. Knows exactly where that lockdown is and easily destroys it. Limestone's plans snuffed out before they can make anything really happen out of B main, and it's just getting worse and worse for them.
Boulder Stoney going down the right there to Titanos. I mean, this is a tough. You've got Wallace sitting right here. He's got a great angle. I wish he would peek a little bit more and or hold the angle instead of doing both at the same time. I don't know if he wants to jiggle peek or if he wants to just go ahead and hold the angle. He needs to do one or the other. But they're in a great spot with their defense right now as Way Abstract moves in.
Haven't cleared the back sight yet. Wonder's still in a pretty strong position. A solo push coming in from Sig, and he's easily spotted. Way Abstract not there, and that's the spike on the floor. Wonder just has to play for time right here. Still has plenty of teammates, still has plenty of time to play with too, and doesn't even get hit by his teammates. Rolling Thunder easily shuts down Way Abstract in a full wipe for Limestone. They're not able to save anything in this round.
And now they're in the spot that we talked about. Now they're in a really difficult spot. They just gave that op to Penn State. So that's the difficulty with doing a full buy and then losing it right there. Now Penn State's got great economy except for Rezik. Rezik's in a little bit of a tough spot. But now Danny Steele has the op with 5,200, and Limestone's in a really bad spot. They're going to have to go half buy right here or light buy right here and do a little bit more of an economy round. And the great thing is that the Penn State gets a full gun round, and they don't even have to spend any money to do like an eco counter or anything like that. They just get to have the guns they have. They just have to play it smart right here.
And Limestone, even if they got some damage onto the economy of Penn State, it wouldn't be enough. They really need to pull off this win. They're going to be investing the Rolling Thunder. This is ambitious, but at least catches one. Titan doesn't care, though. He's in tree. He's destroying them. One more to get the ace. All he needs to do is find out where Boulder Stoney is. Rezik nearly giving him that too. Up there's
gave away his position.
Come on, get the ace.
Oh,
gets it through the wall. Ace for Titan. It wasn't to a light buy, but still excellent work from him.
Yeah, I mean, it was to a light buy, but that's what you have to do. You have to take advantage of those situations. When the team gives you an early Christmas present like an op and full guns, and you have all that money, you take advantage of those situations. And now we're going to have a full gun round between two of these teams. But look, I don't even know if I love What's Up Boy goes with the op again. If he loses this, they're going to be in a really bad spot. I don't necessarily love the full buy here by Limestone. I mean, I get it. They feel a little bit panicked, but they had control of this map early. They feel like they've lost control over the last few rounds. I understand that, but it's not time to panic and start going full buy. If they lose again here, then their economy is going to be tanked. This is going to be very, very hard and very difficult for them to come back from if they lose here.
And we're not seeing the same kind of decisive action from Limestone in these later rounds. The first two, they exploded onto sites and they knew exactly where they wanted to hit. They have been trying to continue that, but the game plans have just been falling apart before they can get anywhere near control of the site.
I feel like that's
That's
been the story for Limestone the entire time, is not being able to decide on a definitive strategy. What is our strategy for defense? What is our strategy to attack? And they haven't really been able to decide on that. Oh, as Wonder gets two big kills there.
And you could see the adjustment from Limestone there too, right? They smoked out tree. They expected one in heaven. They expected one in tree. But Penn State, they're just one step ahead. They had Wonder in that additional corner, 3 stacked on that A site. And now What's Up Boy? His position is revealed. He's going to get pinched here. The timing on this swing is going to be brutal too. They do have one player lurking.
I don't love that. I mean,
he's counting his blessings there.
30 seconds
He's
left.
out the wind on those.
The fact that he's still alive is a miracle, but there we go. Danny Steele coming up behind, trading an op for an op, Rezik getting the other kill. I mean, this is going to be tough for Limestone to come back from this. The game's still very well in hand. they're not out of it yet, but this is gonna be another eco round for them. It's gonna be a very, very light buy. Boulder Stoney is the only one who has any kind of money, but right now he's just got the default. Like he's got the classic. Like there's not much that they can do here. It looks like they're gonna go with another couple of vandals. I mean, Limestone is going all in on these last few rounds, and I feel it feels very panicky to me when this isn't a moment to panic for them. Just be decisive, figure out what strategy you want to employ, and then go for that and just get the kills. At the end of the day, it's all about clicking heads.
There is a showstopper available for What's Up My Boy too. Not a good start as Blake will hit the floor. Was that through the smoke there?
I'm pretty sure it was through the smoke.
What good work, and already a rough start. What's Up My Boy just getting the heck out of dodge. Wonder won't be able to push this as that turret will keep him away. But he's going to go for the fake teleport and just hold aggressive here inside garage. I believe that paint shell does tag him up quite nasty, so we'll have to use the second shrouded step to get the heck out of dodge. But still B main, very much contested. Not much space gained from Limestone right now. Oh, Danny. Oh, Danny boy. Oh, the pipes are singing in his favor right now. Doesn't quite expect another, but Way Abstract has no idea where he is.
I mean, that's just
now it's just two stuck in B main.
That's such a smart play by Danny Steele right there to just use that smoke to his advantage. It doesn't matter if he's a little bit close as Wonder goes down to What's Up My Boy, but using that smoke to your advantage, get up close, confuse them. You know, they know you have the op. They're thinking that you're going to hold a little bit longer of an angle. You decide to stay up close as Danny Steele gets another kill right there, and Tight Nose finishes them off. But great plays right there by Penn State. Penn State just rolling right now.
And I got to say, I'm a little confused that Limestone aren't trying to use the tools in their bank. I mean, maybe they were just going for a light buy. They're saving up for this round, but even this round, they're really not getting a full economy. And when you keep getting these broken buys, I'd like to see Limestone just say, you know, to hell with it, right? We're going to pull out the Showstopper and the From the Shadows. We'll get information backside. Showstopper will create space that we need for our team to push on in, but they're just playing a little bit slow. And oh no. Oh no, this is...
it comes down to
34 gets spotted! Oh, it's actually a good push from Way Abstract, and the lockdown this time isn't going to get counteracted by a Hunter's Fury. That's the kind of aggression I was waiting to see from Limestone.
I mean, that's the kind of aggression that we saw from them early on in this map and early on in this round as Walla gets the kill on Boulder Stoney right there, but we saw that aggression from them early. Those quick movements, that quick aggression on the attack, that's been working for them every single time. When they sit back in their passive, it's not quite working for them. As Sig the Man takes down Danny Steele.
Walla all alone, knows where the last one is though. Easily able to get that done. Limestone, they had a good push, but the post-plant position's not quite there as the push in was expensive for them. Titan, you don't gotta do that, man. The Killjoy's dead. An Anostorm ain't gonna do anything to you. Gotta save the Odin and everything too. Things going so well for PSU.
Everything's working out in PSU's favor. I mean, what it comes down to is they haven't been forced to really buy a whole lot. They've been able to buy their utility. Their economy looks great. If you look at Danny Steele right now, he's got the op in 9,000. Rezik right now with 8,000. He still hasn't bought yet, but he's going to buy right here. Their economy looks incredible. Limestone still not quite getting the guns, the utility that they need, so it's going to make these push. I mean, here's the thing with attacking. You have to have utility. Having utility, getting information, being able to block stuff off, that's so crucial to having a fully like a great push on attack. And if you don't have that utility, you don't have that full buy, you don't have everything you need, then you're going to be at a disadvantage when they're already at a disadvantage. And so I think at some point they do need to either need to go all in, or they need to just hold back for a round or two and try to regroup, because even at 7-2, it's still not out of hand for Limestone. They can still come back from this very easily.
They found my line.
Good fall line too. They need to push in onto that, and they will. Boulder Stoney finding that one from Tree. Great position. This is the kind of post-plant position we've needed to see from Limestone. They have actual stable control. What's up, my boy? Don't get too dicey here. We'll be able to find the one through the smoke as the spray gives away Wonder's position. Reopening the door. Interesting there.
I love that.
There are two here in Tree, and Sid the Man will at least be able to punish Tight Nose. Only two available, a Bladestorm and an Operator. Not the ideal retaking scenario, but the spike is just now getting planted. There's plenty of time to set this up.
Oh man.
Just barely. Blade Storm in a dream now for Danny Steele.
Oh.
Just barely off the mark on that headshot. Limestone with a third on the board. Stabilizing a little bit, but a long way to go before they feel comfortable.
I mean, that was much better. That was a much better round by them. Just like you said, those post setups that they had, being able to make sure they take heaven, get one underneath, plant, shut the door. I don't know why they reopened the door. That was a little terrifying. Honestly, that's another one of those plays where I don't know that Penn State knew what to do with that, because they would just assume that the door was going to stay closed. But that was a great push by Limestone. They just need to do that again. They need to be aggressive. They need to be decisive and move in quickly. Don't give Penn State a chance to adjust. Don't give them a chance to rotate. Get in there, but Danny Steele getting the kill on What's Up My Boy off the bat. That's a rough start for Limestone in this round.
And I like how Danny Steele is vacillating between mid and B main to just keep Limestone on their toes right now. So they're not always confident that Danny Steele is going to be here, and he's not pushing his luck right now. He actually lets Titanos push out onto Catwalk, and look how much map control Penn State have right now. They own everything except A lobby and A main. This Rolling Thunder is going to go on the wrong side of the site to actually catch Walla, and he's going to be able to hide himself inside the smoke in hell too. So he is perfectly safe while he waits for his team to come in for this setup. Danny Steele finding one onto the site is already going so well, and Walla is here. The spike can't even get planted from Limestone. Boulder Stoney all alone now will be able to shut down Walla, but anything other than that was going to be very difficult for him to grab.
That all came down to the information that Walla got for his team right there. Yeah. That's why having a Cypher, especially in situations like this where a map like Ascent is so versatile, the attackers can come at you from a multitude of different positions. It's so incredibly important to understand where the attackers are on the map. And Walla knew right where they were, and he got to stay right there in the smoke, stay safe. He knew where they were positioned, and then once his team got out there, he gets to come up and get those 2 picks. That is huge for Walla, and very, very big for Penn State after a big Limestone push
Penn
around before.
State. Why are they doing it to him? They got 3 Odins on the board for the last round and a half.
No.
I hope y'all are ready for the big burr. Oh boy. All right. Push up mid here. This can get pretty dangerous. The turret at least lets him know that Danny Steele is pushed out here, but doesn't stop What's Up My Boy from going down.
Danny Steele, I mean, that's what we talked about. Big shot by Wonder right there as Blake takes him down after the kill on Way Abstract. But the big, Danny, wow. My goodness.
Danny's just been nasty with this op, man. It is disgusting. Even able to catch Boulder there. All right, that should have been Boulder's to win. But no dice, Danny.
Switching sides.
Gets the advantage, and yet another 9-3 start for Penn State.
I mean, what Danny's doing, like you brought up earlier, where he's keeping them on their toes. That's the kind of defense that we talked about, where that's a decision. That's not reactionary. That's Danny going, I'm going to force them to continue to adjust based off of what I'm doing. Those are the kind of defensive adjustments that we want to see from these teams, that we wanted to see from Limestone earlier. And moving forward on defense, those are the kind of adjustments that we need to see from them. If What's Up My Boy is going to go out and buy those ops as early as he does, he needs to do kind of the same thing that Danny Steele was doing, where he moves back and forth, keep them on their toes, keep Penn State guessing where he's going to be with that op. But what it comes down to is you got to make those shots. You got to get those hits. You got to get the kills. And that's what Danny Steele was doing. Not just getting the good positioning. He was getting the kills with the op.
Cover going out.
Outside swap. Not going to be having an op for at least a while, Danny, but can still make things happen on this jet. Pretty passive default across the map here from PSU.
I don't know if Danny not having the op is more sad for him or more sad for us, but it's definitely not sad for Limestone.
Well, yeah, I think he's doing fine.
Doesn't
you know
matter.
What? I think Danny's feeling fine with the ghost in his hand on this pistol round. I don't think he's too disappointed by that one. Is going to get shut down there. Right click, very balanced on the classic as always. But so much control here for Titanos up mid, right? So even though Way Abstract is sitting around, 5 health, getting pinched from several angles, you can't imagine this guy lives very long on that A site. Wallace still keeping one defender over at B too, so Way Abstract was all alone, and I mean, Sig is stuck on the complete opposite side of the map. He has so much to go through if he even wants to consider getting this done, and can't even make it past the first hurdle with Walla.
Walla's just sitting there waiting. We're just sitting there waiting for him, just trying to flank, take anybody that was going to try to move over to A. It was a smart play by him. I mean, it's tough to lurk like that. Whenever your team's going over to one place like that, I feel like, especially when you're down like this, you don't have the luxury of having a lurker that's that far away. You kind of all need to stay a little bit closer together and go for it, like you brought up, going into this map, a little bit more of the split push, right? And just everybody focus on one site. Focus on A site, focus on B site, it doesn't matter which one, but everybody focus there. I don't think there's any need for Limestone to have those lurkers on defense anymore.
Well, Limestone, they're not going to bother lurking on defense this time. They've forced by this round, and they are rushing on out already. It's a massacre for them.
Wow.
That was not what they were hoping for whatsoever. And Way Abstract heading for the hills. Is going to be able to pick up two and put the spike on the floor. A round potentially winnable. He does have a gun in his hand, but not able to make that gun connect any bullets onto the enemy. And that is yet another round for PSU. They are inching closer to a dominant win in this series.
And see, that's what's so tough with playing an aggressive defense like that. We've seen that all throughout the play the last few days, the last couple of weeks, really. We've seen very aggressive defense, and defense is where you have all the power. You're the one that has to force them to make the decision. And when you're aggressive like that, you lose that power and you give it more over to them, where you have to become more reactionary instead of setting up in your own spot. So I don't love an aggressive defensive play like that, because it just puts you in a tough spot. It's too much of a gamble when you're down. If you're ahead, maybe you can be a little bit more aggressive and force them. If you know you're hitting the shots, that's good. But in a position that Limestone's in, I don't love the aggressive defense by them.
Well, and once again, they've gone for a force buy at the very least. This time it starts off a bit better, as they now have that 4 versus 3 player advantage. Not going to last them very long here. Walla using the cyber cage to get away from that engagement. Now can creep back towards the site. But it's just Rezik, who has the spike in hand, just chilling over toward that B site. Is going to be heard, actually, by What's Up My Boy over in B main. Throwing the recon dart into defender spawn. I think that actually went long, though. I think that, yeah, that went off the map.
That went way long.
So zero information gained for Rezik there.
That
looks like going to charge onto the B site. There is one player kind of close, but you have to expect Limestone are going to go for the full 3v1. Oh, but Rezik is caught on the rotation. Didn't expect one to have pushed out B main. Loses Vandal, loses life, and lose the round. PSU still in a pretty confident lead, though.
Yeah, shooting that arrow off the map, it's like whenever I try to throw the football with my son. He needs to be a little, keep him on his toes, needs to make sure that he knows dad's arm isn't what it used to be. But, I mean, that's still a great play by him right there. That's still, he was the only one left on there. It was a hope and a prayer at all, like, anyway, in that. And so if he gets the plant for his team, which is huge. So they get the plant there so they can keep their economy going a little bit as they look to go into a buy. It looks like they're doing a little bit, not quite a full buy, but kind of a broken buy. Rezik goes with the Vandal and half shields. I'd like to see him economy a little bit more right here, but it looks like Limestone doing a much better job with their economy in this second half than they were in the first half of the map.
Still a very long way to go for Limestone, though, before they catch up. And every gun they lose, every bit of utility that goes to waste will be more money that they can't afford to lose. I mean, a lot of Killjoy utility invested here in mid to keep control of that.
Penn State's essentially playing with house money right now, which gives them a major advantage in this, as Danny gets a huge kill on Boulder Sony right there.
Does have to dance around here. Blake, ooh, that's not the dash he was hoping for. Can't quite get the shot there, and once the reload comes through, Danny can easily jump up and take out the opposing jet. Not great timing there either for What's Up My Boy. Things starting to fall apart here for Limestone in this pivotal gun round. Sig still in market. I believe his position is known, though. The turret is going to once again cover him for that nano swarm. Door shuts him off, so he's able to just go for more isolated fights, but not isolated enough. The Cypher does get spotted here, and nobody actually cleared away Abstract.
Oh, wow.
But Wonder and Walla pushing together, get the crossfire going. Penn State now sitting on match point.
I mean, that was a lot of Killjoy utility for no payoff on that. It's kind of tough. I mean, you want to try to put yourself in the best position. You want to hold them off. You want to try to control those zones and control the map. But that's tough to give up that much utility and not have any actual payoff from that. And then to still have the attackers win the round. Titnos and Danny Seal, I mean, they have just been amazing in this map for Penn State. They have been great for the Lions.
Get out of my way!
One more round for those Nittany Lions. Oh, and it's not off to a great start. Blake double tipping. Exactly. At least they'll trade 1-for-1 on that second. So 2-for-1 overall. That's not too bad for him. Does give the neural theft over to Penn State, though. So even though they're at a player disadvantage, they have the information benefit. They know that Sigma Man is chilling in the back of sight. 1-for-1 trade, though. Penn State, they need to get more value out of these, especially with the position right now. What's up, my boy? Is able to get that one, and despite being carried by Wonder right now, he's able to ult over to B, but this is very risky for him. But they don't attack. They don't go at the same time. Wonder almost able to get it done, but once again, when Limestone need him, what's up, my boy, with the clutch?
What's up, my boy, with the clutch right there? He didn't even need the op. Why do you keep buying it, man? You don't need it. Clutching it without it. That was a great play by them. I mean, great rotation. That was a very, very good play by Omen there to go ahead and teleport over, plant the spike, get the money for his team, and then but great rotation to move in. It was a 2-on-1. That was an easy mode for Limestone to get that round right there. And what's up, my boy, getting the clutch kill at the end. I was worried for him. I didn't think he was going to pull it out, but he did.
Still a very tall mountain to climb for Limestone here.
Tall is an understatement.
Blake, this is going to be very aggressive. He's going to dash forward the second he thinks that anybody's here. Is going to be heard. Just stomped his way up. A flash supports him, but not enough to where he can actually get that kill. Limestone, they are playing for such a gamble in A main right now. And once those two are gone, it's an easy ult, easy push onto the site for PSU. That paranoia is not going to hit much of anything. It gives Boulder Stoney's position away. What's up, my boys? Has some nasty clutches already. One per map, but this will be insanity. Oh, and the jumping right click. Voila.
Wow.
Ending it in such an anticlimactic fashion. Great map, great series from Penn State, though, as they get that much-needed win and keep their hopes alive to move out of the groups and into knockout.
Yeah, Penn State, I mean, they were aggressive from the very beginning. We saw them in map 1 on split. They stayed aggressive on attack. They got Limestone off their game plan. It looked like Limestone was trying to adjust their game plan on the fly, but then we get into map 2 with Ascent, and it looked like Limestone tried to do the same thing that Penn State did with them. It looked like they were being hyper aggressive. It was working out in their favor. They were being very decisive. They were all moving together, working as a team, and then it just kind of started to fall apart as soon as Penn State won that first round, and their game plan kind of went out the window, and you just saw them get a little bit flustered. Each one of them got a little bit flustered, so they were just out of position here and out of position there, not holding their angle there, and that's what it ended up being for Limestone. Is Penn State was very, very great in their execution on defense and on offense as the attackers and the defenders, but Limestone just had they had moments, they had players with moments, but they never really did it as a team. And when you don't do it as a team, I mean, if this is a team game, this isn't any of the other FPS, you have to work together. You have to be set in the right spots, and you have to understand more than just, I need the kill. It's, what does this kill do for my team? What does this death do for my team? If I use this utility now, what does this do for my team? And it didn't really feel like Limestone was really had any synergy with any of that going on in the first half and really the second half of map 1, and then definitely in the end of the first half and all of the second half of map 2.
Yeah, I think you put it well. Moments of brilliance from Limestone that could be better extended from just a moment to more consistent play if they just, maybe do a little bit more homework, right? Come into some of these maps with prepared strategies, do some VOD review. I definitely think that Limestone can get there. Penn State, though, seems like they're already there, right? I mean, they came into both these maps, gave us the split gambit that I always love to see, came out confident with it, hit their stride, and never seemed to lose it on either of these maps.
Yeah, and you see the difference between these two teams. With Penn State, let's just look at the way they played defense. Both teams played defense on Ascent. Penn State, whenever they had to make a rotation, they were decisive. They made the rotation right then. They didn't hesitate. They went where they needed to go as soon as they knew where the attack was coming. Limestone sometimes they would rotate in time, sometimes they wouldn't rotate in time. And then when they were the attackers, Limestone, they would move into a spot and they may or may not get in the right position and be where they set up where they need to be set up for the spike plant. And that it's those little things like that separate those teams. Those matches and those rounds could have gone so vastly different if Limestone, because they had a lot of great pushes, especially on Ascent, where if they just, we talked about this a couple of times, their post plant setups, if they would have been in the right spots, then they would have had a much better job keeping Penn State from trying to retake that. It would have been a lot more difficult for them to do it, and Limestone just didn't do it. And it's those little things like that. Those, the economy is such a huge deal in this game, and not managing your economy the right way, buying the op a little bit too early, having those broken buys that they had. It looked like 2 or 3 rounds in a row where they didn't really see, they wanted the guns, but they didn't get the utility, and they just didn't have a full arsenal, and they didn't allow themselves. It's those big brain moves. We're going to go for an economy round. They need to have one person calling that out. Let's go for an economy round, because then we're going to be in a much better position in the next round. Even if we lose this, that's fine. It's okay. We'll be in a good spot. Those are the types of decisions that have to be made, and it just didn't seem like anybody was making them.
Yeah, for sure. At the end of the day, it is Penn State taking it pretty comfortably. We're going to be back real quick, guys, with an interview of one of the winning Nittany Lions here. So make sure you don't go anywhere. See you in just a sec. Welcome back, everybody. The Penn State Nittany Lions took a pretty dominant win over Limestone University, and we are here with one of the victors, Danny Steele. How are you feeling after that solid win, man? Oh, can you hear me? Uh-oh, we might be having some technical difficulties.
I can try to do my impersonation of Danny, but I don't think anybody wants to hear that.
I don't have.
I can't hear them.
He cannot hear us. So, we can hear you. We can hear. Trying to, he can't hear us though, so it's all a lost cause. Eventually, hopefully, we're gonna get him in just a second here.
We could talk about the questions that you're going to ask him. What are the things you want to ask him? Well, it looks like we've got him in now, so he should be able to hear us in a minute.
Possibly. You good, Danny? You can hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, perfect. There we go. We figured it out,
we go.
guys. Well, my first question to you is just how are you feeling after that win, man?
Good. I think everyone played their role, which is what we always want to see. Titans flashes and stuns. I don't know if you guys saw a couple of times on Split specifically. Yeah, he would ult be heaven for me, and then it's just the easiest thing for me. So, yeah, if everyone plays their role, thing goes well.
So I want to know behind the decision with picking Split for the first map. When y'all pick Split, like what did you guys talk about? What went behind that decision in picking that map?
So, I think our comp, like with a breach, jet, and raise, so that's like what everyone's like really comfortable on. So everyone's playing their main. Like you saw us go to Ascent, and Rez went on to like a Sova, right? So I think Split, everyone is just on their mains. So that's what we haven't dropped a Split in weeks in other leagues, anything. So we've played it like 10 times and we haven't lost it. So we actually first pick Split a lot.
Okay, well, you're giving us a peek behind the curtain there. Other teams are going to be tuning in, and next week you're not going to be able to play Split ever. It's going to get banned every single time.
Maybe so.
Yeah, okay. So I actually do want to pivot then onto your guys' prospects here in Conference 1, right? Because you did take that loss yesterday. It was a close one, but you did ultimately get defeated. Today you pick up the win. You're 1-1. Next week you go and you play against Zip Esports. Do you have any kind of insight into that match? Do you have any ideas about Zip or confidence going into that?
Yeah, we played them last week. I believe it was 2-1. We won that series. So going in, we're still confident. But we haven't been as consistent as I like to see. So we need to work on our consistency, and if we're consistent, I don't see why we can't win it.
So in Ascent, they obviously went for an earlier op buy than what we said they would like to see. They dropped the op and you pick it up, and you just went absolutely crazy. Is it crazy with it? How big of a moment is it for you to see that op on the ground and then just feel really good about it in that moment?
Yeah, especially because we lost pistols, and a lot of that was me. I don't know if you guys watched. I started like 0-3, something like that. I was just playing a little bit too aggressive in the mid smokes, things like that. So when you lose pistol, getting the op on the first buy round is impossible. So seeing that, the first buy round from them, and I was able to pick it up, it's huge.
Yeah, we love to see that kind of stuff, and we love to see your guys' play. I think we're going to get out of here pretty quickly, but before we let you go, Danny, first off, thanks for joining us here, and congrats again on the win. But second, you have anybody you want to shout out from the team, the Org University, just in your life here on the stream?
Yeah, shout out my mom and dad. Much love. Shout out the team. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Danny. A wholesome end. Love to see that. And Josh, I think we're going to get on out of here. Any last thoughts?
Well, I won't hold it against Danny for not giving me a shout out. I feel like I might have been one of his biggest fans tonight, but it's okay. I won't hold it against him. But no, I mean, it was a great job by you guys. Y'all stayed in control from the very beginning. You looked confident. You looked aggressive. So hopefully, that confidence holds as you move forward.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I think we're going to get out of here then. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thanks again, Danny, for the interview as well. And we're going to be back with more action next week. We wrap up this group stage of this small groups tournament here. And there's going to be a lot of very spicy matches. That'll resume, I believe. Oh, I should